What's going on, everybody? It's Stas here. Welcome back to another video. So in this video, we're going to be doing an overall market update, looking at the Dow Jones, the S&P 500, and the Nasdaq. And we're also going to be talking about 3 trades that I made today on the 27th of November in 2018. So for those of you guys that are new to my channel, my name is Stas, and I make videos dealing with swing trading, day trading, long-term investing, and my personal philosophies and strategies when it comes down to investing and trading in the stock market. So for those of you guys that want to learn more about that, feel free to drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe, and follow me on Instagram as well as on Twitter, and join our Discord group chat as well as our Facebook group. All of those are linked down below in the description box. And if you guys want to be in contact with me and our entire trading community of about 280 people at this point in time, join our Discord group chat, guys. We're talking on a day-to-day basis about stocks, investing, trading, news, strategies, and just networking with each other to become the best investors and traders that we possibly can. So if you guys want to be a part of it on Discord, again, all the links are down below in the description box. So today, guys, we saw a surprising green day in the stock market. And by surprising, I mean we were expecting, our entire group was expecting that the markets were going to be red today due to Apple's very bad news that came out yesterday. And for those of you guys that were not paying attention to this news, pretty much Trump is saying that he's going to put a 10% tariff on all of the iPhones in China. So this is actually a pretty big, pretty big negative news on Apple due to China being one of the emerging markets for Apple's products, right? A bunch of people in China really love Apple. It's growing pretty nicely in China in terms of their products, revenues, profits, all of those different things. So this 10% tariff that Trump is saying that he's going to put on the iPhones, that's pretty bad for Apple, and we thought that today that was going to negatively affect the overall stock market and Apple especially, and that just did not end up happening today, guys. And let's just go into a little bit deeper depth and look at the technicals here, starting with the Dow Jones. So the Dow up about $108 on the day, up about 0.44%. And if we notice here, guys, it's pretty much primed for reversal in terms of the technicals here. So in yesterday's video, we were talking about how the Dow was holding above the support at 24,500 very nicely, and it was starting to, form this horizontal pattern, or we at least thought it was going to start forming this horizontal pattern, which it ended up doing. And this is exactly what is primed. It's looking like it's priming to do right now. So we noticed that over the past 2 days, we've had 2 straight green days, 2 recovery days in the overall stock market, right? And, in terms of the Dow Jones, guys, we're looking pretty solid for a comeback coming these next couple of days. And just because the technicals look good on the Dow Jones, that does not mean that this is going to reverse up here, indefinitely. But, it does mean that this could end up happening, especially if we continue having green day after green day heading into tomorrow and, the rest of this week's trading. So keep an eye on this horizontal pattern that's potentially forming on the Dow Jones, especially if we're able to get closer to this 50-day simple moving average right here, illustrated by this green line. So in terms of the Dow Jones, guys, we're bouncing off that support very nicely right now, heading back up to that 50 SMA resistance point. So if we take a look at the S&P 500 very quickly, similar thing happened here. Just like the Dow Jones, guys, we bounced very nicely on top of that support level here at $2,650, and we're slowly pushing up in price back up to that 50 simple moving average here. And just like the Dow Jones, the S&P is slowly forming a horizontal pattern, as we can see here by these candlesticks. So keep an eye on whether or not we're going to pop up above this 50 SMA, or are we going to get rejected here and continue this downtrending pattern in terms of the S&P 500. So the Nasdaq, guys, let's take a look at that. So Nasdaq today, pretty much this is the future, and we're up about $44.25, up 0.6% as of right now. But let's take a look at what the market was moving like throughout the trading day today. So at 9:30, roughly when the market opened, we saw a big spike from 66.40 up to about 67.23, and we pretty much hovered around 67.23, for the rest of the day, right? That was a very solid resistance for the Nasdaq in terms of the technicals here on the 1-day, 1-minute chart. And if we take a look at the 184-hour chart very quickly, guys, we are right by another resistance point on this 50 SMA simple moving average right here, again illustrated by this green line. So take a look tomorrow if the Nasdaq is going to get rejected here, and this especially could happen if this news on Apple is going to be implemented into the market's price tomorrow, because we didn't really see any movement from it today, but who knows? Tomorrow, Apple stock could end up going down. We really don't know, but if that does end up happening, since it has very strong weight on the Nasdaq, I do predict that if Apple stock does go down tomorrow from this bad news, this could drag down the Nasdaq and in turn drag down the entire stock market. So we had a very good green day today, surprising green day after, this bad news from Apple with the 10% tariffs on iPhones in China. But hey, guys, sometimes unexpected stuff happens in the stock market, right? We could expect that things are going to go this way, and then in turn they end up going the exact opposite direction, and that's just what ended up happening today. And me personally, guys, I ended up taking a pretty decent loss, not really a pretty decent loss, just about a 2% loss on TVIX today, due to my actual belief that the markets were going to end up selling off today, right? And, I ended up taking a decent loss, 2% loss to be exact, on TVIX today. And, I got into this one in the morning here, pretty much on this initial push up here, this initial pump up. I pretty much got in, I think, at about like $45.40 initially. I did not end up adding more money, thankfully, because I ended up just cutting my losses at 2%, like I said. So everything was looking nice and dandy heading into, the first 15-20 minutes of the market. And then once we peaked at this pre-market resistance at about 46.60, that is when it was all downhill for the rest of the day. So in a perfect world, guys, I would have sold here for a decent little profit, right, from 45, what was it, like 45.40, 45.50 up to 46.60. I could have made a quick little 2.5%. But hey, guys, I thought the markets were going to continue to sell off for the rest of the day due to this Apple news, and that's exactly what did not end up happening. So, I didn't sell here. We pulled back, we broke below where I ended up, taking the position, right, at 45.30, 40, roughly, right? We ended up breaking down here to 44.70. I did not cut losses quite yet. We then popped up to 45.66. I should have cut losses here when I saw it get rejected by the 180 SMA, but I did not, I did not cut losses there. And then we started to push down. Then I ended up just taking my loss at that 2% threshold, that I set for my stop loss. And let's just take a look. Let's say 45.45, or let's say 45.35 roughly. And then we ended up taking that 2% loss, and we'll see exactly where that ended up putting me at. So 2%, guys, I ended up taking my loss right around here at $44.45. And that was my first trade of the day, red trade in terms of, TVIX. And one that I actually did well on today was LABD, and this is one that I actually swing traded for the entire day due to it not showing a break of the pattern, although, the overall markets were going up in price. And for those of you guys that don't know, LABD is another inverse ETF, and it trades based upon this biotechnology index right here. And pretty much when this index is going down in price, LABD is going up in price. So we saw the sell-off here. The big little push down here early on in the market, that's initially what opened my eyes up to LABD. And I ended up entering this one at about $37 and I believe 10 cents. And I took my profits later on in the day at about $38 roughly as we broke out of this resistance point right here at about $38, which was one of the resistance points that was set early on in the day. I wanted to take my profits there to be very safe with it. So from about $37.10, guys, up to about $38, I pretty much just made back the money that I lost on TVIX, plus a little bit extra there because this was a 2.5% trade. But, I wanted to lock in those profits very quickly before, the close of today, because I don't really like holding these ETFs overnight too much, although I probably could have gotten away with holding this one overnight due to it, the pattern of LABD looking very, very nice right now. We're on the pullback at about $37 from the resistance at 45. That's a 20% margin. So I'm going to be watching this one very closely tomorrow, possibly for a re-entry, and I'm going to be keeping an eye on this SPS IBI index to see if this rejection by the 50 SMA is going to hold, and if we're going to be able to continue to push down, maybe back into the $5,000 level, which is going to be absolutely great for LABD, because again, when this is selling off, LABD is going up in price. So that's the second trade I made today, and the third trade I made was in ticker symbol ANY. So ANY has been a high-flying penny stock over the past couple of weeks, and I typically don't trade penny stocks, you know this, but ones with high volatility like this, I just keep an eye on them, right? And if the pattern's looking good, which the pattern has been looking very good over the past couple of days, I consider trading it. So that's what ended up happening today with any. I traded this one, and I'm going to show you guys exactly where and why I traded this. So it was a very quick, small trade in terms of this, but we noticed the big sell-off from 870 down to about 560 from the high yesterday, heading into the pre-market hours today. Then we noticed that from here, guys, it was slowly climbing up, pre-market hours heading into the bell. So I noticed this initial pop-up as the market opened. We sold off, popped up again, same resistance point was hit, right? We pulled back, we held this little trend that was forming, pull back, and let me just see if my mouse wants to work here. And we held that trend from the previous pullback here, and I ended up just hopping in, I believe at about like 720, and rode it up to about 755 or something like that. Then I ended up taking my profits. So 720, guys, up to 755, very quick little trade here. Made about 5%, 4% on this one, putting my daily gain at 4% plus 2.5%, 6.5% minus the 2% loss, which is a 4.5% gain on the day. And my daily goal is about 4 to 5%. Hit that with 3 trades today, 2 wins, and then 1 loss. I could have made more money on this, guys, but again, these penny stocks are very volatile. I go into them with a smaller amount of money just to, risk manage, just to, be a little bit, more risk adverse to these particular penny stocks, and that's just exactly how I ended up playing it today. So today was another one of those days where I ended up being done trading pretty early on in the day rather than that swing trade in LABD. I was doing some other work, throughout the day, in and out of the house, and I was just keeping my eye on LABD to see whether that pattern was going to break or not. It ended up not breaking, so again, like I said, took the profits at about $38, and that is pretty much what ended up happening today. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and on Twitter, and join our Discord group chat as well as our Facebook group. All those are linked down below in the description box. And if you guys want to be in contact with me and all of the other members, again, join that Discord group chat. We're talking on a day-to-day basis on there, and I would love to get to know you and talk to you more in that group chat. So I'll catch you guys in the video tomorrow. Peace out.